Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
There's a serious line going on and it's exciting. Things are running so smooth this year. It couldn't be any better, to be honest.
Right now on HHS In Depth, the Homestead Spartan Alliance Band's annual fundraiser of selling their famous chicken and dumplings at the Johnny Appleseed Festival took place last weekend. You'll get a recap of how their weekend went.
Plus, you'll see part 2 of my story on tips for securing a part-time job while attending high school. This week, you'll meet some Spartans who are already balancing both school and work. Those stories and more straight ahead. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nada DeHook.
And I'm Carly Flanagan, and Nada, I can't believe it's the first week of fall.
I know, but I'm excited for the fall festivities coming up.
Speaking of fall festivities, every year the Spartan Alliance Band sells their famous chicken and dumplings to raise money. And after a year away due to COVID-19, they were back at the Johnny Appleseed Festival this year. HHS In Depth reporter Jenna Lane is in now to give us a recap of their fundraiser this year.
The Johnny Appleseed Festival is back and better than ever after its absence last year due to COVID-19. Behind me, you can see parents and student volunteers all working together to pull off another great year of the Spartan Alliance's Chicken and Dumplings booth.
The chicken and dumplings is basically dumplings and chicken. We do everything from scratch. And obviously, as you can tell by the crowd, everybody loves it. And what it does is it funds the marching band, so all of our extracurricular activities can continue for years to come.
The Spartan Marching Band is awesome. We're normally at state every year. We've been at Grand Nationals many years in a row. There's so many things that need done with that. Uniforms, props, the money helps pay for all of that.
Each person plays their own part in helping the booth succeed, from cooking over the fires to scooping and selling the final product.
I'm a server. I pretty much just take the people's orders, fill them up, and give it to them, and have them on their merry way.
I'm working as pit boss. That means I'm supervising the work over the open fires. There's huge crowds. We normally have long lines because people love the dumplings. There's a lot of enthusiasm. There's cheering, and it's just fun to be around.
Last year, the Spartan Alliance sold chicken and dumplings in the Homestead parking lot, so everyone is excited to be back at the festival to partake in this annual tradition.
It's great to be back because we didn't do it last year, and it's just a lot of money that we didn't get a raise last year for our show. There was at one point where a firefighter person had to come in and fix the line because it was a hazard because there were so many people, and it's just constant filling and going. So it's been really good.
I think all of us have missed it, not just us on the committee, but there's a serious line going on and it's exciting. Things are running so smooth this year. It couldn't be any better, to be honest.
It has been another successful year providing chicken and dumplings to all of the hungry crowds here at the Johnny Appleseed Festival. If you didn't stop by this year, make sure you come out next year to get a taste and help benefit the Spartan Alliance Band. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Jenna Lane.
Thank you, Jenna. Last week, I brought you a story with tips for high school students on how to approach job interviews. However, once a job is secured, students have to make sure they have a way to balance a job with schoolwork as well. And there are many strategies student workers use to do this.
The best way that I balance schoolwork with working at Walgreens, I always try to find the best time to work on homework. Anytime that it's slow and I don't have anything else to do, I just work on a math packet or read a book, chapter for reading during work, or if I'm coming home before I go to work, really any time that I get.
Sometimes I usually take off days the day before a test so I can study that night. I have a planner that I keep all my stuff down. I usually do it during the beginning of the week and try and fill out my weekly schedule for work and school schedule for tests and quizzes.
I just make sure I know my schedule. I know what days I work and what homework I have for that week, and I kind of plan out when I have to do my homework and when I work. I usually don't cancel days off work for school. I just kind of make sure that if I have an assignment due on Tuesday and I work Monday night, to do it over the weekend and kind of just do things ahead of time.
And if you are struggling to find a job that works for you, there are a few things to keep in mind that may help your search.
A lot of places are hiring right now, so honestly, all over Facebook, there's a ton of jobs that you can choose from, and you can ask your friends if they have a place that's hiring as well.
I would say make sure that where you're applying to or wherever you're going is a place that you actually enjoy. It's not going to be fun working at a place where you have like no interest. If you just like hate the place, you're just not going to have a good time. It'll make balancing schoolwork and work even more difficult because you'll just feel like you're never in like a happy place.
But even with all of these factors to consider before even applying for work, finding a job and maintaining it does not have to be a stressful process for students, as long as they are prepared to plan ahead. Good luck to all of you who will be securing their first part-time job at some point this school year.
If you're heading out to the football game tonight, you may want to consider taking a light jacket, as the first day of fall will bring cooler temperatures than last week. I'll be in later to let you know how long these fall-like temperatures will stick around.
You're watching HHS In Depth with Nada DeHook and Carly Flanagan.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth. Students, there are still lots of pre-ordered student section t-shirts that haven't been picked up. If you pre-ordered one, go to Mr. Schenkel's room, 600B, before or after school each day. If you are unsure if you ordered one, ask a parent or go to 600B and see if you are on the list.
Attention students who are enrolled in classes that offer dual credit through Ivy Tech. This is your final week to get registered, enrolled, and qualified for your dual credit. Ivy Tech's deadline for completing all steps is September 28th. Be sure to complete all steps as they're stated in the Ivy Tech module in your Class of Cannabis course. Contact Mr. Clark with questions.
The FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, will be available for the class of 2022 on October 1st. FAFSA must be completed by April 15th to qualify for Indiana state aid, but it is recommended to file as soon as possible. Many schools have deadlines as early as January 1st, and certain types of aid are awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Go to the web address to start the application.
Have questions or need help regarding financial aid? Homestead is hosting a representative from a local college to talk about financial aid on Thursday, October 7th at 6:30 p.m. in the seminar room. Enter through door 26. Handouts will be provided and more information is available on the Homestead website.
The Homestead Theater Department is excited to announce auditions for this year's fall play. This year, they will be presenting the hilarious comedy Lend Me a Tenor, written by Ken Ludwig. Auditions will be held from 3 to 5 p.m. on Monday, September 27th, with callbacks on Tuesday, September 28th. Scripts will be available in Mr. Shaw's room starting this Wednesday. Please sign up for an audition time slot on Mr. Shaw's door, room 404. New to theater at Homestead? No worries. Please see Mr. Shaw if you have any questions.
And now here is a roundup of clubs meeting over the next week. Euchre Club will meet today after school in room 212. New players and experienced players are all welcome. The call-out meeting for Film Club is today from 2:45 to 3:15. Join them in room 113 as they watch, discuss, and enjoy films, all while eating snacks. Are you interested in current events? Do you enjoy discussing politics? Go to Young Progressives today after school in room 614, Mrs. Smith's room. All political viewpoints are welcome and snacks will be provided. And Students Against Destructive Decisions will meet on Monday, September 27th after school in room 714.
More clubs meeting over the next week. Audio aficionados will meet every Monday in room 600B at 2:45. Join in on listening to influential and groundbreaking music and discussing the weekly music-focused topics. Next week, the club will be listening to John Prine. Meet in the Radio TV classroom 600B. Best Buddies will have their first meeting on Tuesday, September 28th after school in the seminar room until 3:30. If you have any questions, email Mrs. Hoffer. And Spanish Club will meet for their first time after school Tuesday, September 28th in room 612, Senor Peeper's class. Stop by for a short meeting. All students are invited to join Spanish Club. Please see Senor Hoon or Senor Peeper if you have any questions.
With students getting their hands on this year's yearbook, some may have noticed the absence of senior quotes. HHS in-depth reporter Luke Gayer explains why senior quotes were removed and the process that goes into creating the annual yearbook.
One of the traditions at Homestead is picking up the yearbook from the previous year. But what some students may not know is one of the most recent major changes, the omission of senior quotes. Mrs. Bream, the yearbook teacher, explained the difficulty of going through all the senior quotes and determining what is appropriate.
The main reason was because it's far too time-consuming to sort through 500 or 600 quotes and decide if they're school appropriate or not. You know, there might be something that I might think is funny or administrators might think is funny, but we have to look at how it's going to be viewed and where's the cutoff. Where do we draw the line with something we were struggling with?
What students may not know is that creating a yearbook is a process that utilizes every minute of the class period and takes the staff an entire school year to complete.
Doing the yearbook is a huge project. You know, we have 264 pages. I have a staff of between 11 and 15. We also send our book into contest to be judged, just like, you know, the radio and broadcasting classes do. So we have to consider the big picture.
Although senior quotes will stay removed, the yearbook staff do recognize that seniors do deserve some recognition.
We do realize you deserve some perk. And we also try and feature some seniors on a lot of our sports and a lot of our spreads. Just in general, we try and get upperclassmen in the book as much as possible.
When asked about the absence of senior quotes, the students I talked to had mixed opinions. Some wish they remained, while others felt it wouldn't make a difference since they've only been around for 5 years. Regardless, the yearbook will be made and you can expect it next year. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Luke Gayer.
Turning to weather now, the Spartans hit the road tonight to take on Northside. So, what can those of us going out there expect weather-wise?
Joel McChesney joins us now to tell us that answer.
Thanks, Carly and Nada. The weather for tonight's football game against Northside will be cooler than it has the past few weeks. You can expect sunny skies and a temperature of 64 degrees at kickoff and falling down to 56 degrees by the end of the game. Moving on to the weekend, we will see a high of 68 degrees on Saturday and up to 72 degrees on Sunday. Saturday will bring a chance of morning showers and Sunday will bring sunny skies. I'll be back in later with an outlook on the weather for next week.
All right, thank you, Joel.
Next in sports, we'll take a look back at this past week from our fall sports teams. Anthony Gary is in next to break the week down in the locker report. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Locker Report. I'm Anthony Gary. Spartan Sports had another successful week as teams start to creep closer towards the postseason. Last Friday, the football team played at home in a tight one against the Snyder Panthers. Sports reporter Caleb Wood brings you a recap of the game.
Both ranked at number 9, it's Snyder in 5A against 6A Homestead at Dave Walters Memorial Stadium. The Panthers get the ball first, and after a long opening drive, it's Snyder's Carter Wortman with the reception from 3 yards out to get them on the board, taking the lead 7-0. Not too long after, Snyder is back in the red zone. Tyrese Brown up the middle. He would account for 150 rushing yards for the Panthers. The score 14-0, Snyder up at the half. Second half, Slavin finds senior wide receiver Nate Anderson at the goal line, and now the Spartans are on the board. However, a Snyder field goal puts them down by 10 in the fourth. Homestead looking to respond once again. It's Nate Anderson with the 25-yard reception, and he would account for 213 receiving yards last Friday. However, a turnover gives Snyder the ball with little time left on the clock, and the Snyder Panthers win the game 17-14.
The girls' golf team took care of business in sectionals last Saturday, and since the postseason is underway, it's time for a new Locker Report segment, Postseason Spotlight. Homestead Girls Golf has become a wildly successful program known across the state, ranking in the top 5 each of the last 5 years, including a state title in 2019. This year, expectations are no different.
Obviously, we want to win state. That's our number one goal and our priority. Personally, for me, I'd like to win state individually, but I think all of us just want to play solid.
Going into regionals this week, the girls rank 5th in the state, but don't doubt the Lady Spartans as the gap between 1 and 5 is small, and the team's chemistry has been one leg Homestead has had over the competition in the past years.
Cool. I loved being on the team with my sister and having my best friend on the team. It's just a really good experience, and we're all super close. So going away to tournaments and supporting each other, it's just a cool experience.
It is almost guaranteed that the Lady Spartans will win regionals again this year, so make sure you set your calendars and make the trip down to Prairie View Golf Club in Indianapolis. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Anthony Gary. The teams next week for postseason spotlight are the boys tennis team and the volleyball team. Switching now to some results, the boys tennis team competed Saturday at the Jimmy Clark A Invitational. Stefan Meyer was the singles champion, winning both of his sets 6-0. Overall, the team finished second place. The volleyball team beat Angola Monday 3-1. On the stat board, Olivia Cron had 2 aces, Natalie Blofis had 21 assists, Taylor Mahler had 2 blocks, Addie Tyndall had 16 kills, and Olivia Cron had 23 digs. The girls play tomorrow at Warsaw. And now a special note to both our boys and girls soccer teams. Last Saturday, the boys soccer team defeated Carmel for the first time in recorded history. Homestead and Carmel have been recorded playing once a year for over 10 years, and just last Friday, the boys upset the Greyhounds 2-1, bringing Carmel's winning streak to an end. Goals were scored by Nick Gallagher and Jaden Venturini. Isaac Hallman played an incredible game in goal, racking up 10 saves on the night. The girls' soccer team beat rival Carroll Monday 3-1 with a hat trick by Amelia White. This season so far is scripted out to be one of the best in team history. The girls are 12-0, ranked number 2 in Indiana, as well as number 3 in the country. In their 12 games, the girls have outscored opponents 58-5. The football team is back on the road tonight to play the 1-4 Northside Legends. It's Western themed, so make sure you get out to the game and wear those cowboy hats. For the Locker Report, I'm Anthony Gary. Make sure you follow the Locker Report on Instagram. Have a great weekend. Joel will have a final check of the weather when we come back.
Next week on HHS In Depth, reporter Cole Steinacker introduces Homestead's new faculty in the front of the building. Catch this story and more next week on HHS In Depth.
The weather for this weekend will be more fall-like with temperatures around 70 degrees. Throughout the next week, temperatures will barely break the mid-70s, with the warmest day being Monday at 76 degrees. There is a chance of showers on Wednesday, so make sure to consider that when making plans. Overall, it's a pretty good week of weather, so make sure to get out and enjoy the cooler temperatures while you can. Carly, Nada, back to you.
All right, thank you, Joel, and thank you for watching today.
Good luck to the football team as they hit the road to take on Northside. Have a great weekend, Homestead, and we will see you back here again next week.